Hi there, my name is Peter and I will be your commentator for this battle. The key buildings on this map are the workshop, the sword dojo and the shrine. And the shrine is the building that I plan to capture. Which is why I have set up my army as close as possible to it and sent all my cavalry units forward to get to it in force before the enemy does. And the enemy general had his cavalry hidden on his left flank, which left his right flank exposed without cavalry support. But since he has lots of Naginatas in his army, he has no reason to fear from a cavalry attack. Now I make a mistake here as I send my cavalry too far and I'm forced to pull all my units back before they get swarmed by the enemy. I was planning to take the shrine by dismounting my katana cavalry, but as my units ended up on the wrong side of the shrine, my plan A has failed. So, on to the plan B. Pull back my cavalry and get my bows into position to harass the enemy while he takes position at the shrine. I'm going to set up my bows in the forest for maximum cover and fire at his units in the clearing where he has no cover at all. That way I can do a lot of damage at range at his army while he is capturing the shrine. The enemy general continues with his tactic of keeping his cavalry on one flank. As there is only one Great Guard unit out there, I call his bluff. And that bluff was that he has more cavalry on the other flank in some forest hidden, and send all of my cavalry to that flank as well. But now the enemy disproves my assumption that he will wait to capture the shrine and starts to charge with his entire army. So, now on to plan C. Brace for the enemy's attack. As a famous US general of the Second World War would say, plans are nothing. Planning is everything. I use my bows to take out the most powerful of the enemy's units, his matchlock warrior monks. But I do go a bit over the top, as I use fire arrows on them, even though they are lightly armored and regular arrows will be just as effective. Now for the cavalry fight. The enemy general charges his 3 units in wedge formation straight into my cavalry, and he targets only one of my units with all 3 of his. But wait a moment, why is my battle advisor screaming at me so early in the battle? Oh, that is why. The enemy just unloaded a full matchlock volley into my general's unit. And he is also targeting him with bows. Damn, those matchlocks are very accurate. Okay, general is moving, so let's see the cav fight. You can see the mistake the enemy made. He charged all his units into one of mine and made his units a perfect target for my free cav unit to do a flank or a back attack. I failed to micro my Yashigaru unit well enough to attack his cavalry, but it will be a blessing in disguise, as my cavalry just made big damage to his unit's morale. The Yashigaru unit ends up blocking his own Yari Samurai unit, and my cavalry stays safe. Now the enemy charges at my melee line with his infantry, while I pull back my bow units to safety. He's again making the same micro mistake as with his cavalry. He's attacking in one big blob of units, instead of making a battle line formation. This will leave his units open to flanking attacks, and I am definitely going to exploit his mistake. I get my Naginata Samurai to flank as my Katana Samurai are taking the brunt of his attack, and right away units drop in morale. But the enemy is relentless in his range attack. He keeps taking down my general's bodyguard several units per volley. The arrow volleys from his bow samurai are not that bad, as they are mostly blocked by the cover from the forest, but his matchlock volleys are deadly. 2 general's bodyguards are killed right next to him. Now let's see how is the cav fight progressing. One of his cav units just routed, and the other 2 are wavering and will rout very soon. I did good by keeping my Katana cavalry out of this fight, and my Yashigaru has saved many of my cavalry units just by staying alive this long. And it's finished. All enemy cavalry routed, with all my units still in the battle. Now let's see how is my infantry doing in their fight. My unit's morale is rock solid, but the enemy is shaken and... no routing for now. Enemy general has used his rally ability. My Katana unit on the right is ready for a flank attack, and I also used the rally ability. While we are on the subject of generals and abilities, I seem to be very late here with the use of my stand and fight formation. Some of the enemy's Naginata samurai get to my general, but their unit is engaged with my katanas and they cannot engage him. Finally, I managed to set up my general into his stand and fight formation and just behind my battle lines. But there is a problem. Enemy is still shooting at me with all he's got. I am now running out of bodyguards. Another mistake in this battle, on my part this time, is that I just cannot get my cavalry units to break off from his Yari samurai. Only one depleted Yari cavalry has managed to break off. At least my katana cav is free to attack, but I have to charge Naginatas and that will do good morale shock, but they will die soon after that. On the other side my katana infantry will do better and the enemy infantry is now flanked on both sides. Their morale redlines. There is lots of wavering and the enemy is getting desperate. He now fires off volleys of fire arrows at my general. The few bodyguards I had left are now getting slaughtered. In my experience, there is a very low chance for range units to actually kill a general, as they target his bodyguards first, as you can see here. And what my enemy will accomplish is to make my general rout, so he'll lose the stand and fight bonus. But since the general himself will not be killed, there will be no large morale debuff to my army. Here we can see that two of my Great Guard units are still engaged with his Yari samurai, but my Yari cavalry is going to do one amazing charge. I send this unit to the enemy's back and try to disrupt his bow samurai that have been shooting at my general the whole time. In their stretched out line they not only charge one, but both of the enemy's bow samurai. But they do not rout, and the enemy keeps shooting at my general even as his infantry line is breaking down and routing. My own bow units soften them up while katanas rout them, and the enemy is running out of units. One of my Great Guard units has also joined in. Now we can see my last few bodyguards get shot by full volleys of arrows, their bodies riddled with them, and the general routs from the battlefield. Despite my general routing, my units have a boost from the rally ability and still have rock solid morale, and they finish off the enemy units. The enemy runs back with his general and my Great Guard is in hot pursuit. Now his Matchlock Monks unit come forward as they are still trying to shoot at my routing general. They will now feel the cold steel of my Katana Samurai. They rout in seconds, followed by the enemy's general unit. Don't forget to enter your own idea for the name dive battle contest in the video comments.